Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus this morning has been on men who cook. The 18th annual Men Who Cook competition is scheduled for Saturday, September 2nd at the Parkland YMCA. And my next guest can not only cook, he is the winner of last year's competition, and he's got a long list of other talents. Darrin Reasby is a native of Milwaukee and extremely talented. He's here to tell us how he plans to help make a difference in Milwaukee's inner city and remind others that we should live our lives to the fullest. How are you, Darrin?
I'm fine, Mr. Williams.
Glad to have you here. And it's really hard to know where to start with you, Darrin. You've got a little bit of everything going on these days, which is a good thing, of course. You've been a fashion designer, a retail manager, and even a carpenter. And I want to talk about that journey that has led you to where you are today. So, as I mentioned, you're in the upcoming Men Who Cook competition. So let's start there. When did you first show an interest in cooking?
Well, as young as maybe 8, 9 years old, my grandmother and my mother raised me. So that's all I seen. That's where the background came in with the fashion design, fashion merchandise. Used to let me stir the batter up with the cookies and stuff like that. And you know, you are who you are around your environment.
Yeah.
So being with my mother and my grandmother, that gave me an interest in cooking. But I never thought that it would get to this point that I would be baking and cooking full-course meals and things of that nature.
And catering, opening bakeries, but we'll talk about that. Yeah.
So that's what got me started, and then somebody told me to get into the competition, and I was no competition type person. I just like to enjoy baking and cooking, you know, for myself, families, and friends. And once I got into it, it was such a joy to see other men that had interests just like me, and just the camaraderie. And like Ruben said at the beginning of his segment about, it's a friendly competition. Yeah. You know, we
there's
batter
no
back and
flying
forth.
At the
no,
end.
There's no flake cakes flying or anything like that. But we enjoy one another's stories, and that's how I got started.
Okay, so you do walk through the door talking smack because you won last year, and you plan on winning again. What did you bake last year that won the competition?
Actually, I didn't bake anything. Well, I did bake, but actually what I won was with my chicken stir fry.
Oh, okay, so you were cooking.
Overall, I cooked chicken stir fry.
I think I've tasted your chicken stir fry.
And that's a story behind that, which we're going to get into about me actually needing a heart, and I have to eat healthy. So that's what I kind of cater to when I cook my food. It's a healthy alternative.
Yes, so everything you have people taste testing, you want them to know it's
good and
healthy.
It's healthy.
Absolutely.
Right.
So I think it's safe to say that you're the type of person, just looking at your background, that when something interests you, no matter what it is, you have a I can do that attitude, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so I found it intriguing that with this whole fashion designing thing, I never knew this about you. I always knew you had on like really cool gym shoes that were different than everybody else, but I never realized that you actually had designed clothes for Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah, Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson.
Wait, stop. Did you say Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson?
Janet and Mike.
Wow.
And I kind of got started with your actually background in radio. Walt Love was a radio personality, and I made a couple things for him. And then when I used to go to the concerts, I would have something on jazzy. He would have on something jazzy. He would interview some of the celebrities, and they were like, where'd you get that from? So me, with my thinking, I said, okay, I'm gonna market. Everybody likes free stuff.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
Even if you're a celebrity or you got tons of money, when it comes to somebody handing you something that they think is worth it, so I would go to the concerts and I would just give it to them. So when Poetic Justice came out, I made a Poetic Justice baseball jersey with her face on it, and actually gave it to her. And that was the only person I was ever starstruck. I mean, I've met Oprah, I met other people, but I'm like, wow, I'm one step away from meeting Michael Jackson. I got Janet Jackson in my midst, and she was quiet. We met on a tour bus, and you know, I was just shocked.
Wow,
to meet
that's
her.
quite a story. So this clothing line that you had was called Straight Out of the Ghetto. Never forget where you came from, and it was actually sold at Carson
Perry Scott and Boston stores in Wisconsin
the Midwest.
and Chicago.
That's a big deal. That really is.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. So that's one thing that you've accomplished. And so we're going to fast forward to 2015. And that's when you received a life-changing diagnosis. So let's talk about that and where we are now.
Right, definitely a life-changing. I was working out in Beverly Hills as the carpenter now. So I went from clothes to building cabinets. So I was out in Beverly Hills building inside stores for AT&T. And I was having chest pains, but I thought it was just acid reflux. So I was taking all kind of acid reflux medicine and stuff like that, and it wasn't getting any better. So I said, well, once I get back to Milwaukee, I'm going to go into the doctor. And I was actually there for 5 days. I don't know how I made it. I got ready to come back. I was in Las Vegas, walking from terminal to terminal. I couldn't hardly breathe to get to the next terminal. I'm like, wow, can't be just acid reflux. So once I got back home, went to sleep that night, woke up, went to the clinic, and I was in there talking to the doctors. They put me in the x-ray room. One doctor called me in, and the paramedics and stuff was all around. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? And one of the paramedics said, oh, well, you're having a heart attack. And I almost had a heart attack because he said I was having a heart attack.
It's not funny, but
it's like, you know, it's not normal that somebody tell you having a heart attack and you don't feel it.
It's
so
scary.
I'm like, nah. So it was serious. So they put nitroglycerin under my tongue, rushed me to the heart hospital. I got to the heart hospital. They gave all these tests and stuff, and they found out it wasn't a heart attack. It was congestive heart failure.
Wow.
And my heart was only pumping at 20%.
Wow.
So I stayed there and ran some more tests. They eventually let me go home. I went home. 2 days later, had a stroke in my right arm, and went back to the hospital. Stayed there for about a week. Came back out. Then I got pneumonia in my right lung.
Wow. You've been through it, and look at you.
Went home, came back. My legs, it was the last straw when my legs swelled up real big. So then I went to Freighter, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going home until y'all tell me what's really wrong. Ended up in the ICU. A couple of team of doctors came in and said, we need to prep you we need to put you on the list for a heart transplant. Wow. And I'm like, this expired transfer for 3 weeks, and about 2 or 3 months before then, I was playing full court basketball. I had no diabetes, I had no high blood pressure, doesn't run in the family. So at the end of the day, they said I was diagnosed with a virus that attacked my heart. And the rest is history.
Yeah, well, it's safe to say, look at God, because here you are through all of that, and you just had that heart transplant like
8 weeks ago.
8 weeks ago, so 2 months.
Right.
And
I'm back in the kitchen.
Wow, and he's back in the kitchen and here talking to us. So truly a blessing. And as you are on this road to full recovery, you're also on an entrepreneurial journey that includes baking. So the Are You Kidding Me Bakery is something that you're very passionate about, that is in the works as we speak. And we're just giving everybody a heads up to be on the lookout, right?
Right.
Okay, tell us about this bakery, which is a combination deli, bakery, and juice stand ran by kids.
Well, the ideal came, same thing with the celebrities again. Somebody called me and there's a challenge. I don't bake, but I design. So I teamed up with somebody that did bake, because I was baking, but like I said, I started out baking cookies and stuff like that. I'm not thinking I'm going to be making wedding cakes. Well, they called me and they needed something that go on the wedding cake, so I designed the pieces. But then when we did the consultation with the client, and he needed 200 to serve 200 people, and the lady said, well, it's $4 a slice. Well, I ain't gonna be a rocket scientist to figure out that's $800 for a cake. So I was like, okay, I know I can get into this business. $800 for a cake. So then what he wanted was a replica of P. Diddy's cake. And we actually made the replica of P. Diddy's cake.
Okay.
So then the next year, he wanted one that was like LeBron James. So we made the replica. Well, I shouldn't say we made it. I let her go by the side, and I challenged myself, and it was a 6 feet cake.
Okay.
So I made the 6 feet cake, but then I did the research on LeBron James' cake. It was superimposed. His cake was actually on the table, and I made the cake from the floor up. So it was a $1,000 cake. Next is history. I'm in baking, and then the passion with the baking and the kids. I run an organization for 10 years called Born to Dream. And what we do, we take young people and we try to give them their dreams for just a day. To say, okay, if you can do whatever you want to do, what would you want to do? And it's the entrepreneur spirit that we put forward. So for 10 years we've been doing this. We take them to the Brewers, the Bucks, We take them to the daddy-daughter dances. We teach them etiquette. We teach them, self-discipline for themselves. So I said, you know what? It's time for me to move further than that. I want them to be financial independent. Like Ruben said in the beginning of his segment, that we need to have more people that we can actually service our own community, that we don't have to go out of the community. But in order for us to do that, we got to start young. Because they teach other activist groups start their kids young. I mean, I don't care if it's just a lemonade stand. I started young. A lot of people don't know, back in the day, when we used to receive food stamps, they had some food stamp coins. I'm dating myself now.
Coins?
Coins. They wouldn't give you change back. They would get you plastic coins that said 20 cents, 25 cents, 10 cents, and it had centuries, codes, and different stores on there. Oh. So I wanted to buy a toy this particular day. And my mother, she ain't got no change. She said, take those coins out of this bucket and you can go get you some candy or whatever. So I said, okay, I don't want no candy. So I went, I bought some Dolly Madison donuts that was about 18 in a pack, came back to the projects, put them on the table, and I sold them to the kids. And I said, y'all can't give me the food stamps. You got to give me real money.
Okay.
And then I was able to go buy
the real money to get what you wanted.
There you go.
I get
so
it.
now there's history as far as the entrepreneurship, being young.
Yes.
So then we put together Born to Dream and Are You Kidding Me Bakery, and the name is self-explanatory. Are You Kidding Me Bakery is run by youth from the ages of, actually you can come and participate young as 6. We train them from 6 to 14 to do the basic drop cookies and stuff like that. And then when you get a permit, which I think is at 14 and 15 in Wisconsin, then we hire them. And the reason why we did that from 6 to 14, I call it like baseball, where you got the minor leagues and you call them up. We want to train them, we want to farm them, so that way we're not only helping the business, but we're growing them for them to be hired. Into the business.
Now, before we run out of time, I want everybody at home to know that you do have an all-white affair fundraising event for the Are You Kidding Me Bakery, and just give us the quick details on that.
It's September 3rd, the day after, so the day after the Men Who Cook. September 3rd at the Sheraton Hotel in Brown Deer. Doors open up at 4 o'clock. The fee to get in is $15. It's a red carpet event, and it's for the bakery, fundraising for the bakery. We got some interesting performers that's going to be there. We got music, dancing, and it's actually an all-family affair. Most people go to the all-white. You can actually bring your kids because that's where
it's
trying
for
to
the kids.
Yes,
So
it's for the kids, so we don't want to exclude them.
Okay, I love that. And quickly, I just want to give out the website, areyoukiddingmebakery.com, for more details. And you're currently working on a location for this bakery,
which will be announced that day.
It's going to be announced that day, so you're that close. I'm excited for you. This is all good stuff. And you said this is going to be an upscale bakery, like you said, with the kids learning along the way. And this is really to interject that entrepreneurial spirit into them at a young age. Love what you're doing. So glad that you're doing well, and I'm excited to see where this all goes.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you letting me come on and talk about, another thing, you definitely got to come September 2nd, because you're gonna see me win back-to-back. That's all I got to say.
Well, good luck with everything you're doing, Darrin. Thank you again. Chef Darrin Reasby is the brainchild behind Are You Kidding Me Bakery. Once again, the All White Affair fundraising event is happening September 3rd at the 4 Point Sheraton at 4 p.m. For more information, visit areyoukiddingmebakery.com. And that is going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, I thank you for watching, and I hope you join us again next week as we take another look at Our Issues Milwaukee. Have a great day.